Welcome to the Inglorious Blasters podcast, a Star Wars Bleed podcast talking anything and everything glorious or inglorious about the game. My name is Koray, and with me today are two friends that are probably a little too short to be called a stormtrooper. John and Brendan, how's it going?
It's going good. I am average height, I'll have you know. But
are stormtroopers average height? Or are they taller gentlemen?
I don't know. They're probably 5'8", 5'9". Isn't that average height these days?
I have no idea what's average these days.
I don't know.
Yeah, we're all about the same height, so I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. This is an audio medium, so no one really knows.
Now, hold on, I'm going to see how tall Mark Hamill is, and then we can use him because he was too short to be a stormtrooper.
Right. So then that's a good barometer to.
He might be
Mark Hamill's
5'7".
He's 5'9".
He's 5'9".
He's 5'9". Really?
Oh.
So does that mean all stormtroopers are supposed to be 6 foot? Because that's kind of
what I'm getting at. I'm 5'11". I don't think I qualify for a stormtrooper.
No way. Because when the original movies were made, the average height of an adult male was not 6 foot at that time.
Stormtroopers were required to be 6 feet plus. All right, there we go.
Okay, beat me to it. There you go. Damn it! So I literally missed the cutoff by an inch. Okay.
We are all too short to be stormtroopers.
We are all too inglorious to be a stormtrooper.
Oh
well, but I'm gonna try and wrangle this show back in. So today on the podcast, we got a lot of tournaments to talk about. ACO just happened. Brendan did a great job running it. John and I were playing in that. And then I went over to Top Deck Games, where Nick Bodner was running his own local sword championship. Lots to chit-chat, a lot of games to talk about. But before we begin, happy 4th of July to all of our listeners here in America. So, yay America, go watch some fireworks, go eat some hot dogs, hang out with some fam and friends.
Happy 4th of July.
Don't play with explosives after having consumed alcohol.
Yes, please launch fireworks and drink responsibly. So we would like to thank the sponsor. I'm still laughing at the other one. So before we begin, we'd like to give a shout out to a couple of our sponsors of the podcast. We got Baron of Dice. BaronofDice.com has his Faraway Galaxy collection for all your Star Wars dice needs. They come in a variety of different faction symbols as well. So if you want to kit out your faction a little bit, this is definitely the way to do it. Got some cool die faces on there. He's got 2 different styles, one more clear and the other one kind of marbled or matte. It looks pretty sweet. If you use checkout code GLORIOUS, you'll get a little bit of a kickback. John, how about Panhandle 3D?
Yeah, if you are looking to have a 3D printed table for any of your wargaming needs, whether that be Star Wars Legion, like we like to play, or Warhammer 40k, Age of Sigmar, just about anything, panhandle3d.com is the place to go. And Greg, the shop owner, is a great guy. He'll set you up with a 15% off discount using coupon code GLORIOUS as a listener of our podcast. Check it out.
Awesome. We also have some upcoming tournaments along the horizon. I know we just passed a couple of great ones, but there are still awesome ones to come. Legion events just keep happening. Crucible is September 29th. John is going to go to it. John, are you excited?
Very excited. It is now turned into a Disney trip, and there just happens to be a Legion event at the hotel we're staying at.
Right. A nice 2 birds with 1 stone. Nice.
It's basically what it feels like now. But
nice, that's exciting. Are you going to build a lightsaber?
Probably. Well, actually, I don't know. I have so many I think I have 4 of them now, so I think I've probably reached some type of maximum.
I don't know. General Grievous never reached a maximum, so.
but John, is it 4 built lightsabers or just 4 lightsabers?
4 built lightsabers.
Oh. Nice.
Okay.
So we have gone to Disney 4 times, and every time I have built one. So I have
That's awesome.
quite the collection. Savi's Workshop. I'm a regular there.
Yeah, they know you by name.
They know me by name. Welcome, Mr. Lowa. Come on in. Swipe your credit card right here.
Oh, don't mind if I do. I'll
gladly take your money.
Brendan's going to be running another tournament at Gamer Corps. Brendan, chit chat about it.
Yeah, Gamers Corps on July 15th in Old Ellicott City, Maryland. This will be a store championship. It will be 3 rounds with a top cut for the top 2, and they'll play a 4th round. Details are available on the game uplink for it. Just search for Gamers Corps OEC. But tickets are not on sale yet. As of our recording, they should be on sale before this recording comes out, hopefully. If not, I'll have a little blurb to say that. But this is a buy tickets first before you get approved on the game uplink. Cool.
It's exciting. All right, gentlemen. How about we get into ACO recap? Brendan, do you want to start? Because this is all you, man.
Oh well, thanks. ACO, I had a blast, and I wasn't even playing, which is probably the worst part about ACO is that I wasn't playing. But I had a great time. I want to give a big shout out to Dave, who helped me with judging. Very appreciative for his help. I would have been a lot more exhausted had I been the only consular. But having a second consular for a 32-person event was very helpful. I want to thank you to some thank yous to some of the contestants or participants who also brought even more stuff for prize support. So thank you to them as well as everyone else who gave us prize support for the event. Everybody got something every round. Everybody just seemed to be very excited every time I threw something else on a table for them. So loads and loads of fun there. Overall, I think the event went very smoothly. Didn't have a lot of tough judge calls. People seemed to be having fun and laughing. So I can't really complain too much. I will say the biggest thing I think I've learned from this is even with 2 consulars, since we had a stream table, it would have been nice to have a consular who was designated for the stream table, because from my understanding there were various misplays throughout the day. If we had had a consular just watching, it could have been addressed rather than being told, hey, they've misplayed this, keep an eye on it, but then it never came back. So, hopefully next year if we get bigger, I can get more consulars and we can do that for the future to make sure that the stream is being played correctly to help everybody who watches the videos. But nice. Overall, I think it was a great success. Everybody seemed very thankful. At the end, I got a lot of thanks. A lot of people who were new to the competitive scene or hadn't been to a big event like this before, and they had a blast. So I can't complain. I think it went well.
I got a question. Was every single bounty board crossed off?
No.
Bounty board objective? No?
No, there were 2 bounty board objectives that were not claimed. One was the one specifically for rebels to win a game while being down over 100 in kill points.
Yeah.
And the other one, I cannot remember. It was one of the ones to kill a force user with a.
Oh, was it with the ones?
Yes. Yeah, that one was never.
Oh, okay.
It was specifically to kill a force user with a droid trooper unit that was core or special forces, because dark troopers don't count. So.
Right, no. Never.
So nobody claimed that one either. Yeah, those were the only 2 not claimed. Yeah. So I was very happy to see everything else get claimed.
Excellent. That's pretty good. Yeah, everyone was having a great time that I would talk to over there. Again, I won't recap what you said, but all smiles. Everyone was having fun. Really good event. Good job, Brendan.
Yeah, Brendan did a phenomenal job. ACO is always, maybe it's just because it was my first event. It always is exciting for me because it's first event. It's where we all met, and it was just one of those things where it's we say it all the time. Like, played Brendan for my first competitive event. You guys then played each other. We shared a pizza, and then next thing you know, like,
here we are.
Yeah, here we are. Here we are. We have a podcast.
Hey.
We went to multiple events after we started this. So there's like this certain element of nostalgia attached to it that is dissimilar to any other event that we do. So it's just crazy, like 2 years later, to go there and like, you know, we have all of our Inglorious Blasters stuff, and even seeing like the emails coming out with our podcast name on it, and you know, it's just very cool. It was very exciting for me this year, especially. We had our jerseys and everything last year, but this year to have, I mean, Brendan did all the work. Realistically, which is even better. That was even better because I didn't even have to do anything. I just got to show up and wear the jersey and hand out free stuff. So I didn't even have to work. I just had to hand out free stuff. So
riding my coattails. But no, realistically, yeah, no. John was a little sappy at the beginning there, but yeah, it was my first time playing outside the house. Was the first ACO 2 years ago. So to be running it 2 years later is kind of surreal. Yeah, it was where we met the first time because we talked before round one. I played John round one. We got pizza, and I played Koray round two. And you both destroyed me, you evil people. So
yeah, I was running an evil mall list. Yeah,
I was running Rexstar, trying to create as many friends as I could.
That was when standby sharing was around.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's when you're just destroying souls.
Oh man! All right, I guess enough about nostalgia. John, how did your games go, ACO?
They went okay.
Okay, that was easy done.
They were okay.
They were okay.
The nostalgia part was more exciting for me than how the games went. So I was leaning into that.
My bad.
They were good. Would you like to hear a quick recap of them?
Sure.
Awesome. All right. So yeah, they were good. So this year it was a 5-round Swiss. So just similar to previous years with ACO, it was not the heat-based system. So prior years, it was like a Friday, Saturday heat with top cut on Sunday. So this was straight 5-round Swiss. So day one, game one, I got paired against Austin Miller. So anybody, spoiler alert, he was the grand champion of ACO. Went 5-0. So you get the picture here. I lost this game. He was running a CAD Asajj list, 10 activation. I should probably go over what I was running because I did pull an audible. I had kind of talked up the fact that I was going to be doing a Anakin Cody list, and even was saying I was going to be running an ATRT, which ultimately I swapped out of that into kind of similar packs list that I ran, which was more of like an Anakin gunline with some pikes. So my list was called Tempted and Flawed. It's glorious. 9 activations, 796, so 4-point bid, which was good enough to get me blue player 4 out of 5 games, which was kind of cool. I ended up dropping a portable scanner on my capo last minute to net me 6 points, and then I threw a recon intel on my RPS, so that gave me the 4-point bid, which normally I run 800 or 799. So that was kind of last minute decision to really kind of make use of playing those long deployments, so I could make use of these 7 range 4 shots that I have through a phase 2 mortar, 2 pikes with capos and the disruptor, 2 DC-15s on the phase 1s with medics, an RPS with a recon intel, Echo and a strike team, and then Anakin with saber throw, push, and offensive stance with the naked capo. So, like I said, 7 range 4 shots. So pretty much it just sits there and plinks away at you, and then when you pretty much realize if you stand here, you're just going to get picked apart and then move into 3 range 3, that's when I start hitting you with the fire supports, and then Anakin ultimately runs in there with the big saber throw fire support that just nukes whatever you have left. So I really love this list. I really liked it at PAX. And it's just a very fun list to play. There's nothing I would change about it. So any of the games that I lost were more user error on my end. So the list ultimately performed really well. In Austin and I's game, we played key positions. It went to round 4. Asajj got very aggressive, and Anakin was able to kill her with a saber throw fire supported by a phase 2 mortar. So that pretty much knocked her out. And then he kind of ran up with a couple other B1s. Ultimately, at the end of round 4, I'd taken out 3 activations. We were running up to time on the clock, and by the time we realized that, pretty much all my guys had gone, and they were all right next to the center key position. We had 2 minutes left in the round, and he had a squad of Magna Guards left and a squad of B1s left, and I had just had Anakin left. So he had more activations than me because I had done a couple fire supports. So he ran up with the B1s, touched that center KP. Anakin then double moved over, and realizing we are not going to have time to go into round 5, I made a little wall with a force push with his B1s to basically try to body block his Magnas from being able to move up and touch that center KP. So essentially what would happen is nobody would touch the center KP, so we would each have our home key position, and I would win on kill points because I was up by 3 activations. And his last activation of the round and the game was a unit of Magna Guards, which was able to double move and by about 1/4 of an inch get just past the last B1 body that I had made the little wall with, and just touch the statue on the end, and hit that KP, and we didn't have enough time to go into round 5. So Austin sealed the deal with the Magna Guards, and won it 2-1. So that was it for game 1. Austin was a heck of a player. Great dude. I really enjoyed playing him, getting to know him. Great guy. All the 5th Trooper guys are great guys. Koray squared off against Evan round 1. So it's kind of interesting that both the 5th Trooper guys squared off against both the Inglourious Blasters guys round 1. So kind of ironic.
I swear the game uplink has like MMR.
It's
like
crazy how that happens.
MMR matchmaking.
Game uplink did that. I did not. It made for very interesting round 1 though.
That's a lie. You fixed it, Brendan. You fixed it. But yeah, my round 1, just like John said, I fought Evan Bulris from 5th Trooper, right? So he's beaten me twice at tournaments before, so I was looking for some revenge, right? So, we were chit-chatting and laughing throughout the whole game until the very end. Evan, I love you. I'm so sorry your Ahsoka just decided to blow up. But before I get into that, for those of you that don't know, I ran a separatist invasion force. So I was like, what's something I haven't run that I think is good? And it's separatist invasion force with 8 B1s. And I was like, all right, let's do it for this tournament. So real quick, the list is the T series with comms relay, 8 B1s. 6 of them have heavies. It's 4 snipers, 2 rockets, and then the 2 other B1s, they have repair droids. And then I have an AAT with link targeting, and then the 2 shells, the armor and the high velocity, for a nice 800. And but anyways, yeah, getting into Evan and I's game, we played key positions, hemmed in, supply drop, and I was red. He was running a 9-act Rebel Hero Hammer, and key positions is pretty great for droids because I have 8 bodies. Oh, and I also had a Magna Guard in there. I forgot to say that Magna Guard with a rocket. So I have 11 total activations to go touch the KPs, including one of them being a tank to just stomp over my opponent's stuff, just thereby displacing it, right? So. Yeah, you don't want to play KP against the tank. It's not going to go good. But anyways, yeah, I'll just give like a short and dirty of this. Evan deployed, in my opinion, too far and too conservative. Like it's tough fighting that many acts. Like I was just able to just basically chip away at like Ahsoka round 2, and then the top of round 3. So what he did was a pretty interesting play. He played K2SO's sacrifice card, but I played a 1-pip. So what that means is like when I'll quickly paraphrase the K2 Guardian one. What that means is when K2 activates, he can sacrifice himself in order to pick a unit, and you can't shoot at that unit anymore. Meanwhile, before he activates, he gains Guardian 4. So in Evan's mind, he's like, yeah, I got this. It's Guardian 4 is plenty. Ahsoka has 4 health remaining. I have Guardian 4. What could go wrong? Well, I threw 4 crits, and then he he threw 0 blocks. So that's exactly what happened. I feel really bad. I don't I don't like winning like that. I mean, I kind of wanted something, something there. But anyways, I got my revenge on the raccoon. So there you go. We basically called it there at the end of turn 3. Anyways, yeah, and then we had like an hour and a half to just chill. So it was nice in my opinion.
So Koray has learned how to finish games a little faster.
A little. A little. We'll get to it later. All right, John, how did your game 2 go?
Game 2 went well. That was against Adam Fowles. Actually, a really cool dude. I really enjoyed playing him. He ended up on Brendan's Jedi Temple table, which was beautiful. Interesting to play on, but a beautiful table. We ended up playing...
I'll agree, it's different.
We ended up playing... We did not go on top of it. We pretty much played underneath it.
That's fair.
Yeah. Adam was playing...
Well, I gotta say, real quick, John. I'm calling you cowards because game 1, 2 players played. All of their units except for an Echo Strike team were on the bridge and they were playing hostage exchange.
I saw the pictures.
For anybody who doesn't know this table, you can look at them in the ACO Discord channel, in the main Discord, or if you check out Austin's article on the Atlantic City Open Top 8 on 5th Trooper, you can see this table, and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about.
Those are the true champions, where they said, yeah, we're playing up here. Everyone's up here.
What made it better was it was a Yoda Wookiee list against a Vader Triple Do.
Ooh.
There were dewbacks on the bridge.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's awesome. That's got to be a fun game of like positioning like units properly and like really picking your spots like when you're getting into melee and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Continue.
Serious body blocking too in that situation. Yeah. But anyway, so Adam was playing 11-act Rebel list. He had Leia, Cassian, Din, K2SO, 2 Rebel vets with the range 4 gun, 2 Mark IIs, and 3 ATRTs with the laser cannons. So actually the only person I played that kind of like outranged me between the 2 snipers with Cassian and Din, because Din had the Amban, which I did not enjoy. I feel like I was like being bullied the whole game. Not by Adam, but by the list. Adam was a great guy, but like the whole time is like, you pick up a model. All right, now you pick up another model. And I'm just sitting back here at, an untouchable range. So that was a little frustrating. So I had to get a little aggressive. We ended up playing KP. So basically the center pillar underneath the bridge was our target zone that we were looking to get. So ultimately what I did was I just eliminated all the squishy acts. So as we went into round 5, which is where it ended, I had basically killed all of his core and 2 of the ATRTs. So when I went after the center KP, which is what it always ends up coming down to, it seems like with KP, he didn't really have enough units to take it from me. And then when you also account for Anakin having force push to be able to just knock somebody else off of that, I took it 2-1. At the end of the day. So that was a victory there against Adam. But a great dude. Really enjoyed playing him. He was just a cool guy to talk to and to play against. Koray, how'd your second game go?
Well, I'm glad you asked because it was another game of KP.
Classic.
And that's really good for my AAT, turns out. So I played against Sam. I think he's the top Republic player if I recall correctly. Anyways, Sam Gold, however you pronounce it. So he was playing a Republic list with Anakin, and like he put arcs in there as well. So like Echo was a full arc squad, and then Fives is in a full arc squad with R2 and C3PO, right? So a lot of token sharing, a lot of calculating of odds, and really, really good red saves. It took me like, I think half the game, 3.5 rounds to kill Anakin. But I finally nailed him down. I had a lot of fun playing this game. Sam's a cool dude. I'll just, we talked about terrain in the beginning of the game, and I feel bad because there was this big center. Brendan, is it like a Sith like looking table?
Yeah, the like Korriban type table.
Yeah,
that's it was mostly some that Legion terrain Dark Temple set.
Okay, the Dark Temple set. If listeners are familiar with it, so it's like a gigantic circle with some steps coming up to it, and with some statues around it. And that was the KP. So we ruled it as the KP being like a small little hexagon in the middle, rather than like the whole piece itself, because that was just a big KP then. Anyways, we should have talked about terrain more. So Sam, I apologize. I thought my AAT could get on there, no problem. He thought it couldn't. So effectively, both of us were playing two different games, and that never feels good. So like in my head, I was like, I just literally have to sit here. I'll say it, like none of this matters. I just have to make sure my AAT lives, and I just go stomp on his point. I probably could have made it to his KP. We were playing Long March. I could have just probably double moved into it, but basically it was a funny ruling where the AAT went at a 45 up the steps, and then the silhouette was just high enough to clear the different interacting pieces of this like set, so I could make another move.
I had to do a lot of measuring.
There was a lot of measuring, a lot of lasers. I mean, I had fun, Sam. I hope you did too. It was a great game. John, how about your next game?
My next game went well. It was against Sean Haynes. He was a Separatist player. He was doing a Dooku Asajj list, which was kind of cool to see. 9 activations, Dooku Asajj with basically a bunch of B1s and a Magna Guard squad with the whip instead of the rocket, which was basically there to kind of... Brendan is doing a little whip action, trying to get me to laugh, which worked.
Success.
Got him.
It's better than the beard stroking he's been doing, trying to give it. So the Magnas were there to essentially babysit Dooku, keep him alive. This one we were doing hostage exchange, which I was a little concerned about some of the shenanigans with Dooku and being able to kind of push my hostage around. He placed Dooku kind of out in the open, so I did my little trick that I talk about with the RPS recon intel right out of the gate, where I'll move the RPS to exactly range 4 of a unit, and in this case it was Dooku, and then Echo is there, so Echo does like a move shoot fire supported by the RPS turn 1, and that was into Dooku, and it put 3 wounds on Dooku as my first.
Oh, that's a
activation
lot of
game.
wounds. Holy
Yeah.
cow.
That's a lot on Dooku.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, so it pretty much that set the tone for the game out of the gate. Dooku took those wounds, and then he pretty much was like, well, I gotta make something happen. So then Asajj did a double, basically came at me like a torpedo and buried herself into Anakin, and Anakin force pushed Asajj into the open. I think he thought like I was going to sit and duel with Asajj, which is not what I did. I set up a fire support, pushed Asajj off of me, and I had just done like a supply, like we'd had supply drop out there. So Anakin picked up, I don't know what the card is called because I never typically play supply drop. It's a new thing. But whatever one gives you the aim. Yeah, like you get
I
the
think
aim
targeting scopes.
Okay, so whatever that is.
Or precision
scopes.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so whatever the aim card is. So force pushed her off, so that's your freebie. Then I switched to offensive stance. So I took the aim, getting 2 aims, got an aim from that card, and then fire supported the saber throw with my DC 15 squad. So it was 5 red, 5 black, 3 aims. So I rolled into 10 hits on an Asajj in the open. So it basically was a one-shot Asajj dead situation.
She melted. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now it was Asajj was dead and Dooku had 3 wounds, and it was pretty much game over from that point. Like we played it out, but it was basically he was just kind of at that point. I was just like, well, I just sit here, and if you want to run into this wall of fire, you're welcome to. And that's kind of what happened. But we had a good time. We we played it out, but it was kind of an uphill battle for Sean at that point. Yeah. So
makes sense. Well done.
How was your game 3?
It was frustrating. I'll just say frustrating, right? So my third game was a streamed game, so you can check it out. YavinBase. I don't know if he ported it to YouTube yet, but I think he did. Yeah, he has. Okay, so you can check it out on his YouTube channel. Oh, not yet. Okay,
not yet.
Not yet.
Listen to me.
Not yet. Listening comprehension is difficult sometimes, so stay tuned for that if you want to watch it then. All right. So I played Steve. He was running like Shadow Collective with all the Mandalorians, two regular pikes, and then a fully loaded Black Sun Enforcer. And I was red, and we played like payload, long march, supply drop. I had my choice of like either deployment or objective, like for bands, the final. And I have 11 acts and he has 8. I could have picked breakthrough, but then I would not have gotten long march. And I feel like my list should excel at long march more than his, because I have the way it's supposed to operate is like death by 1,000 tiny cuts with like the B1s, the Magna rockets shooting at range 4, and then you've got the big hammer as the AAT to like finish something off. But maybe I chose poorly, but anyways, I was hoping to kill something of his of Steve's, but I just could not. All of his saves were on fire the entire game. Yeah, I just I couldn't drop anything, and I was just getting frustrated. In my own head, I was like, I don't know what to do against this. I've never been hot diced off a table before. I killed 44 points of his. He killed 274 points of mine. Yeah, frustrating game. That's okay. I just could not kill anything. He's just all the saves. That's really it. Play a red save faction. They're really good, turns out.
If you roll the blocks.
Yeah. He rolled all the blocks. Even his pikes threw blocks. Like my AAT threw 5. He saved 3 or 4, if I remember right. And I was like, what is this game? What is this? Anyways. Yeah, that was the end of day 1 at ACO. Then moving on to day 2 for round 4. John, how'd you do?
Day 2. Day 2 started with me playing Christopher Lewis, who beat me and took 3rd, I believe, overall in the tournament. Good dude. He was playing a 10-act double dark list. This one was an interesting one. He had a officer, 2 death troopers with HH-12s. So this was a remnant list. Naked scouts, naked shore, storm with HH-12, 2 E-webs, and then 2 darks, but the arcs just had the assault cannon, so they didn't have the rocket as well. So a lot of naked stuff, which is how it got up to 10 acts. I haven't seen E-webs in a while. And the death... So it's interesting, because it had a lot of, like, anti-dark trooper tech while also being a double Dark Trooper list, but they were the 4-man squads. So the fact that it was 10 acts, but basically, kind of acts like 12, my ultimate goal here was, how do I eliminate some of these naked squads or like get these E-webs out of here just to kind of get it out of this 10 act territory. We were playing key positions, so I was like, all right, good. Like, I can get this to a point where I can eliminate some of the squishy acts and then do some Anakin force pushing on the last round of the game. And then set up some type of saber throw just to nuke some of the Dark Troopers throughout the game. I was able to eliminate both E-webs, one almost immediately through another one of the RPS Echo fire supports, like round 1, and then first act of round 2, the second E-web. So I was like, all right, cool. Like, I had lost nothing right after the beginning of round 2, and he was down 2 activation. So I was like, okay, I'm up an act. I'm in a good spot here. That by then the Dark Troopers, I was like, all right, if I can get them down acts by the time the Dark Troopers actually, like, make their little snail path to me, as they kind of like creep their way up. That was that was my goal, so that it wasn't like just crazy threat saturation and they're double activating. And then once they got up there, it's crazy. I just focused everything at them, and the amount of dice pools that I rolled, like with the pikes and the DC-15s, where it was like 7 hits. All right, roll 1 save because of impact 1. All right, here's another 7 hits. Oh, well, critical 1. Roll 1 save. All right, you failed 1. All right, you failed 1. And we were talking about it after the game because I was like, by the end of the game, I had taken out 1 Dark Trooper squad, and he had 1 other Dark Trooper squad with 1 model with 1 wound remaining. And
almost got there.
Yeah, I almost got there. But the amount of times where I was like, man, if I would have just focused on like the dark, because I didn't even fire at anything else after I took out the E-webs and like a naked squad of scouts, and just because the scouts had kind of tried to snake around and snake my home KP, and then I just nuked them. But the rest of the game, I was like, I'm just going to take out these Dark Troopers. But the amount of like 6 or 7 die pools where it was like, well, roll 1 save, that I could have diverted towards the Storms or the Death Troopers, and I was like, no, I just got to keep focusing on these Dark Troopers, and that will lead me to victory. We ended up tying the center KP because that 1 Dark Trooper, on the second to last activation, I was setting up for Anakin to do a double move saber throw and just basically bonk him on the head, and that be it. And that Dark Trooper be dead, but instead he's like, I don't know what to do with this guy. I'm not going to run him out there. He goes, you know what? I'm just going to take a dodge. So then Anakin's last move of the game, he double moves, touches the center KP, force pushes another unit off. So now we're tied on like units touching, 3-3, and I'm like, perfect. You're about to get saber throwed to the face. I roll the 3, miss on 1. He dodges 1, and at the time he was full health, and then he takes 1 wound. And if he didn't have that dodge, he would have been dead. Instead, it goes to KP, and it's 300 to 298. So I lost by 2 victory points because of that 1 wound. And Dark Trooper squads aren't cheap, so it was
good job taking a dodge from him.
Yeah,
by the way.
the one dodge.
That was a pro play.
Yeah, and the whole time I'm sitting there, I was thinking about that one play for quite a while actually, because I often, like Koray and I talk about this, I am extremely passive with Anakin, probably to a fault. Like I'm always like, oh, I don't want him to get shot. I don't want him to, and he could have gone before. Like I didn't have to wait till, but in my mind I'm like, no, he's got to go last. But if he would have just gone the turn before, the worst that could have happened is he could have been shot like 1 time by the one other. I don't even think anything. Maybe 1 unit of Storms that was going to throw, what would that be, like 4 white dice at a full health Anakin? It would have done nothing. But instead, I'm
Right.
like, nope, got to keep him behind this rock. So that was a little note to self: don't be so passive with Anakin, especially
Great
when the
learning
game is over.
experience.
Yeah, when the game is
Yep.
over, don't be so passive.
You need to eliminate your opponent's possible avenues to victory, and so his was take a dodge. So
yeah,
yep.
basically. So Chris played it very well. But yeah, so that was a loss. Game 4 loss. How about your game 4, Koray?
That's all right. Mine was also a loss to Cameron. So I was blue player, and I was fighting another droid list, right? So this one was very interesting. This one was interesting because it's not like it just relies more on independence and stuff like that. He had 2 Black Sun Enforcers, I think a couple B1s, like maybe I think 3, and then a T series. He had Maul probe droids, and then he had a tank. So there's not a whole lot of order control, and that's by design, just because he wants to run these big powerful pieces. So he's just saying like order control be damned, versus me where I'm like, nope, I need all of the orders exactly where they are. So we landed on breakthrough rollout supply drop. This was just a bloody game. Maul infiltrates behind like a line of sight blocker on my side of rollout, like the part that sticks out. I guess people call it the panhandle. And like, yeah, he infiltrates there. And I'm like, this is gonna be bad. At least it's not on my back line, but this is still bad because that's where all my B1s are lined up. Maul actually gets to go behind my tank in the weak point and like, just saber it. Like it did not feel good. And then his tank, I had great shots on his tank from my B1s and from my Magnas and from my own tank, right? But he made all the saves. Yeah. So turns out when your opponent's tank makes a bunch of saves and your tank doesn't, you lose the game. Shocking. But no, I mean, like, it was still close to the end, right? Because like eventually I was like, well, hopefully you can't stop us all. So I just kept like double moving and trying to kill a Black Sun Enforcer. I didn't kill a Black Sun Enforcer. I just decided to run. I think he rallied just enough to like double move into something. So that was like a mistake on my part. I should have killed it. I left it at the leader. So we ended the game. He scored 4. I scored 3. Great opponent. I had a fun time. Oh, well, there you go. John, how'd your last game go?
Last game went well. I played against Bara Hellman. She's a local of ours. We all know her. She was awesome. I mean, we were both 2-2. It was a long weekend. We had a good time. She was playing a Tauntaun list, 10-act, quad Tauntauns with Leia, Chewie, 2 Mark IIs, 2 of the Rebel vets with the gun. Key positions. So I played key positions 4 out of 5 games. And it was a bloodbath. Basically, the Tauns just came running in and mauled me. I think it's the most units. The most units I lost the entire tournament, like as far as any single game, and definitely models. I mean, by the end of the game, we played key positions. I ended up taking it 2-0. And I think I had 4 models left at the end of the game. So I had two of the 3 key positions, and 1 was contested. My home KP, Leia, and my capo tied it, so that was the 0. I took her home KP with Anakin, so that was
Of course you did.
That was 1 model.
That's funny.
Yeah, and then I had a unit leader left from my phase 1 with the rocket, and my unit leader from my phase 2 touching the center KP. So by the end of the game, I had Anakin, one model from a phase 1, one model from a phase 2, and a capo. And those were the 4 models I had left. And my army was like substantial. Like I had 6 core, 4 of which were 6-man units, and 2 medics. Echo, which is like a 3-man or 3-wound strike. I mean, there was a lot of death. Like I was just like,
there's a lot of beef.
Yeah, it's not common that I just have a crap ton of dead models on the side of the table. Usually it's just like a couple clones, and it's like, like I'm just sitting back here at range 4, just living the dream, just picking you apart.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Tauntauns just basically like
they mauled you.
They were literally in my face. Like I think turn 1. Like they're just like on top of you. So it was a good time. It was a bloodbath though. And Anakin, like basically last move of the game, like bounced out into the center, force pushed one of her Tauntauns off, thereby making it 2 units to 1. My 2 units being the single man units. And then Anakin, then as his second move, moved relentless and just saber attacked the Mark II that was holding down her KP. So it went from being like kind of like tied till at 2-0 as Anakin's last move. So he kind of saved the day right there at the end. But it was a good game. We had a good time. So yeah, 3-2. It allowed me to it allowed me to squeak in as the last spot of top 8.
My man. Top 8.
3 years in a row.
I was gonna say this is a three-peat or whatever you want to call it.
Brendan and I were talking about before. It does not feel like a top 8 this year.
You had to work harder for it.
Yeah, I literally just scratching and crawling 3-2, but.
Hey guys, let me in.
But I made it. That's all that counts.
Yeah. Nice. I didn't play my 5th game because the night before, I ate some food and I felt really, really sick. Like the whole evening. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. And it was a struggle to play my game 4. And after game 4, I was like, all right, I'm good. ACO's done. I'm good. So I just dropped. Sorry to disappoint some Roger fans, but yeah, no, I couldn't control that board anymore. I was just not feeling great. But yeah, ACO was a great time. Lessons learned: play red saves. It turns out it's really good. That's my takeaway.
But white saves won.
Yeah, they did. Good job, Austin. I don't know how you did it.
Good job, Austin. You're the man.
And to be fair, the same weekend was also the Indy Open, and white saves won there with the Rebel list. So
yeah. Don't mind me. I was just tilted at red saves because like the entire tournament, all the red except for Evan's game, that was like an anomaly. They against me, there were so many saves, and I just kept shooting at the same target with like the same result, all blocks. So I'm trying to like transition into top deck tournament. So Evan was saying I was the good guy, like, oh, you were the chosen one. You beat me, you won, and then now I became the villain because at top deck games I decided to run Dark Troopers, double Dark Troopers. Yeah, that's me. So I'll wear that. I'll wear that proudly, being a villain. I was like, you know what? I can have red saves too. I was like, let's see how this goes. Honestly, I painted up the Dark Troopers and I only played with them once, and I was like, I kind of want to play with my models again. So I was like, let's play Dark Troopers. I know they're still good. Let me put it that way. They're still great. So I cooked up a list with my co-hosts. It was Krennic. He had aggressive tactics. Then it was double Dark Troopers with program loyalty. And then the 2 heavies. Spoiler alert, not the Myrtleizer. And then I played 2 shores with the heavies, 2 mortars, and then HH-12. So it should be 8 acts, but then feels like 10 because of the darks. So the idea was like, maybe I could shoot 3 times with Dark Troopers. I'd never really played that card to good effect, like at all. That's because everything died before that, before it even mattered. So, like, I don't think Krennic mattered. Like, that's a lie. Like, cunning 1 pip is good. And like that's the only time that Krennic was. That's also another lie. Krennic was good because Compel. So throughout this entire tournament, Compel was like the big winner for me. So if my Dark Troopers were safe from attacks round 1, I decided to play Coordinated Fire so I can get some aims from the mortar to the shores, then the shores to the darks to like maybe like bounce it like that. Because if they were in trouble or if they were going to get shot, I would keep aggressive tactics. So I would play Annihilation Looms instead. So on the turns I played Annihilation Looms and I missed the rally roll, I would just compel. Throughout the entire time, like I compelled like my short troopers like pretty much every turn, and it felt great to not like worry about, am I going to be able to move and then shoot? So that was awesome. I think Krennic did like a great job on that. So I'll just like very quickly hit highlights here just so we're not like chit-chatting about Dark Troopers forever. I played against Aiden. He's a pretty new player. It was his first tournament. He did a great job. He was playing Shadow Collective. I basically blew up Maul turn 1. I marched up my Dark Troopers. My range 2, it got 6 hits. He got 0 blocks. I'm sorry. And then basically cascaded from there. And then I also got rapid reinforcements, so that was that was extra good. It turns out rapid reinforcing Dark Troopers, don't let them have that. Round 2, I played Michael. Oh, I'm gonna butcher this, so I'm sorry, Michael. Michael DeSagtino. Yeah. So before we began, he laughed. He's like, I don't know how I made it here. I'm not good at this game. I'm just happy to be here. I was like, don't worry, man. We're gonna have fun. He was playing basically Hauntauns, so Han, Chewie, 3 Tauntauns, with some Rebel vets mixed in, right? So I was like, this is actually terrifying if he can get the Tauntauns in there early. He threw 2 of them towards me, and then the other one he was trying to be sneaky with. He kind of left the Tauntauns out in the open turn 1, so I just played Coordinated. I played Coordinated Fire and was able to just blow him up. And we were playing Intercept, so I controlled the middle at that point because he was too scared to approach the Dark Troopers, and I don't blame him. So I take that one. And then the third game is against another Rebel, and John played against him as well. It's Adam Fowles. Super awesome dude. We had a good time chit-chatting, and then this is where I talk about red saves. My Dark Troopers made all of the saves. I think it was 95% saves. It was kind of insane. It was the same list that he played at ACO. Triple ATRT, laser ATRT should be great against my Dark Troopers. Should be. But when I just roll paint, it's not. Oh, the opening volley he's like, all right, 3 hits, impact 3. Okay, 3 blocks. He's like, all right, 3 again on the dark. So I was like, okay, block, surge. Good thing I have a surge, from aggressive tactics. Man. And then eventually, when he got close enough into the thick of things, and then we were playing KP. The darks just annihilated his vets, and then annihilated his other troops. So when it got to that point, and basically it was like his 2 Mandos and Leia, and the 3 ATRTs, I was like, okay, I just need to live. So I just took dodges from the retinue. That's really what helped me out a lot, because he would just, again, the impact 3 from the ATRTs, I would just make sure I had a dodge, and then when they activated, I took another dodge, right? So I was just like ready to go. I was like ready to dodge everything. So those early rounds were extremely, extremely helpful for me making all those saves. So I feel really bad. Yeah, like I couldn't even make this up. My dice were hot. Maybe it's some dice karma. That's maybe like dice swung towards my way. They felt bad for ACO.
Dice.
Yeah, dice are gonna dice. And then the 4th round, top 4, I played against Kyle Chan, another Rebel player. So I beat up Rebels 3 times this tournament, and we played Recover. So that's another objective towards the middle, and I was blue on Hemmed In, And that was great for me because there was a nice line of sight blocker that I could hide all of my Dark Troopers and Krennic behind. So that way I can issue them orders and gain retinue while being safe. The only thing I had to watch out for was he had an R2. Quickly, from what I remember, he had Cassian, K2, R2, Leia. So lots of heroes. And then he had an FD and then a bunch of Rebel vets with the emplacement trooper. So I basically just hid the entire game and I said, you have to come to the center. And I played the lamest game I could possible. I didn't do much shooting. The only shooting I really did is I moved the Dark Troopers out. I took a shot at some vets, and then I moved back to my hiding hole. Once I knew R2 was approaching, I moved one of my Dark Troopers to go kill him, and I get all 10 hits on the little guy, and then he died. And then we basically called it from there because on turn 5 I went to go grab the box because I had killed his FD, and he had done maybe 1 or 2 wounds to both squads. So it wasn't looking great, so we called it there. Yeah, Darks are still really good, guys. Yeah, that's my takeaway. So now I got my Worlds invite, so now I can just chillax for a bit.
Well, congratulations, Koray.
Thank you.
Congrats.
Yeah, congrats.
Oh, yeah. Thanks to Nick Bodner for running an awesome tournament. Awesome tables, good company. It was a great time.
Yeah, I'm hoping there's more at Top Deck here in the near future because he puts on some good events, and Top Deck is a amazing store.
Yeah, I thought Critical Hit was a nice store. This is a crazy nice store.
It is the Super Bowl of gaming venues.
Yes.
I can't wait to get up there at some point. I unfortunately couldn't make it to that one, but hopefully the next one I can make it.
Yeah, hope you can too. What do you guys think of the meta right now? I feel like it's all red saves.
I feel like it takes more skill to do well with the white saves, but that's kind of always been the case.
Yeah.
Because you need that to counteract the fact that those dice are horrible. But yeah, we're definitely, it feels like we're in a red save meta right now. So do what you can to deal with red saves. My idea currently is Pierce, and a lot of it.
Yeah,
but
Pierce,
that
high velocity.
That isn't necessarily going to save you if you run into somebody like you did, Koray, Steve, with 4 Mandos. I mean, all Mandalorians came down in price, both the Shadow Collective and the Rebels. So there's the chance for a lot more impervious red surging saves to be running. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Gar might be the best faction right now. Followed closely by Empire.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I think my ACO list, like I said before, is as tuned as it can be. I am very psyched to continue playing that list. And the 2 games that I lost were definitely user error on my part, but the list seems very, very solid right now.
Yeah, I do think we're in the red save meta right now, but the door is wide open for what lists you run in the red save meta.
Yep.
Yeah.
Agreed.
There's no go-to list. Sure, double darks is good, but if you run into a guy running 6 HH12 specialists, your darks are going to die.
I mean, I could have just rolled blocks against that list. I mean,
the dice gods do not think that's likely against that much
not
impact.
At all. Yeah, there's so much impact.
But yeah, you can do all sorts of lists. I'm making so many lists every day. Just going, well, what if I do it this way instead? I cannot settle on a list that I go, this is the one. No, I'm all over the place with my list building right now.
Nice. Yeah, I have a tab of 20 lists on my phone open and tweaking it all at the same time. So I get it.
So a little glimpse into the madness that is my list building right now. I played a game yesterday where I tried to do a infiltrate Vader with one unit of Dark Troopers with the Myrtleizer, and Gideon, so that I can Darkness Descends Vader, get him real close, and then turn 2, I can play something I want, and then the darks are right in your face also. And I had some misplays in that game yesterday, but it was a lot of fun. Because I put Vader on one side and the darks were on the other side, so then my opponent had to go, which way do I focus?
Oh god, which way do I shoot? Nice.
A lot of misplays.
I think that's a fun concept. That's a cool list.
And then I'm playing another game tomorrow where I'm going completely the other direction, and it's a huge Pierce spam with Boba Fett and Agent Callus, and
yeah,
I don't know. I'm everywhere right now.
I think Iden's sneaky good right now. I don't want to say sneaky, but Iden's always been good. But I think she's really, really good right now.
Yeah,
she's got that sniper, high velocity on it.
I did
tack strike's still good.
Last night with the Dark Troopers, I was up against an Iden list. It
Oh,
was
okay.
actually Iden Vader. So Iden and Inferno Squad just kept marksmaning and putting Pierce through on my Dark Troopers. So they did not last as long as I was hoping. I didn't get to myrtleize anybody. I was very sad.
The myrtleizer's hard to get in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I figured I'd give it a shot. I think the myrtleizer's probably best if you ran them in a lat or a gaff, because then you
I think
can literally deploy them right there in your face.
Yep. Agreed.
But it was a full squad with the myrtleizer, the frag cannon, and an extra guy.
Nice. The madman. Man, any other final thoughts, gentlemen, before we close this show out?
No, just a big thanks again to Brendan for all the hard work and the phenomenal job running and all the setup for Atlantic City Open.
Yeah, I agree. Brendan, you did an awesome job. I just helped with some of the prize support. That's you did everything else, man. So awesome job.
I really appreciate it, guys. I'm looking forward to probably running it again next year. I'm not dialed in on it just yet, but it seems likely.
Cool. Well, stay tuned, listeners, for that. Just maybe see if Brendan is going to run it again. We should bully him. It was a fun event.
You should do it again. I'll come and
you
play.
You should do it again.
I'll come and play.
Oh, great. I got one person already.
I'll hand out stuff.
You want a sticker? Here you go. Oh, man, we ran out of our sticker supply, so if you saw us and didn't get a sticker, sorry.
I am a pro at handing stuff out.
Nice. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to end this show. I'm Koray.
I'm John.
I'm Brendan. I'm so happy I'm not walking down the same group of tables anymore. It was a lot of walking.
Stay glorious, everyone.